Okay, Maya, can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I'm gonna welcome everybody on board. I'm gonna go through a quick overview, real quick, marketing overview, influencer marketing overview to be more specific, talk a little bit about what the Knowledge Broker Blueprint is actually all about, and then we're gonna spend how much time we need for question and answers. All right, so this is a second Zoom session because we have an event coming up on the 27th. One of the attendees in the last session had this quote, and this is of course during the Q&A we were talking. He says, "I put together an online module, but it was a total disaster. Honestly, I couldn't even get one person on it. Few people did inquire, but I think I was completely bamboozled with the entire process." So this was something that an attendee expressed during the Q&A last time. And I think this type of experience is what a lot of people who have knowledge, who have expertise, experience when they try to develop an online course or try to build a community or a mastermind online. So this is very, very typical. Fortunately, there's a lot of education, tools, and training to help people solve this type of problem. Now, what we assume for all the people on the call and all the people who are watching this video, what we assume is that you have some type of knowledge or expertise, and you want to share that knowledge with the rest of the world. You want to create a business. So, but there's things that you struggle with between getting your knowledge into a business and defining and reaching whatever level of success you want to reach. So the first thing I want to talk about is why most people fail, okay? And most people fail when they try to start an online business or to try to create an online course for several reasons. They struggle and they're challenged with the marketing. Okay, doing marketing online, whether it's through Facebook or through podcasts or through whatever you're trying to do, most people who are smart in one area are not very adept in another area. And in order to do something successful as we're trying to do, which will become influencers and reach an online audience, marketing is critical. And it's not just learning how to use the tools like Facebook ads, but it's really knowing how to define who your avatar is, how to speak their language, and how to attract them to take the actions that you want them to take. And we'll get into more of that later. People don't fail because they also struggle with technology. They don't know how to use an email autoresponder. They don't know how to create a landing page. They don't know how to do Facebook advertising. So they don't know how to, set up the audio and visual and lighting to record a video. So they struggle with technology. And the final thing is they lack confidence. Now, they don't lack confidence in their area of expertise, but they lack confidence when they start to become entrepreneurs and business owners that are trying to sell to people they don't know out in the whole internet world. So these are generally the struggles and challenges that people have. Now, before we get into how do we overcome these struggles and challenges, we also have to make sure we understand what we mean by success. So everybody defines success differently. What I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about Dean Graziosi's and Tony Robbins, their meaning of success, because the journey that they take you on is not to just make a lot of money. They have a different perspective of what it means to be successful. And first of all, the focus is really impacting more people's lives in a positive way. So if you have some area of expertise that you think can help somebody, whether it's to learn guitar, learn to meditate, learn to lose weight, in my case, learn how to improve the performance of doing business in China, whatever it is, you're impacting people's lives in a positive way. And that should be the real focus. So they also define success as connecting with your why. What is your greater purpose in life? And if you're thinking about quitting your 9-to-5 job or your day job and transitioning into being a full-time business entrepreneur with your online business, then you really want to connect what you're doing and how you serve other people with your business. And if you can do that, you'll have more passion, you'll have more energy, you'll have more motivation, all of the positive things. if you're passionate about what you do, will help you with your success. And the final thing is they really want to help people transform. That's a mindset. It's not just about how do I make more money, but it's really about serving the people that I can serve when I'm in a small group, but serving them online, helping them create a new reality. So we call that transformation. How do you get them from reality A, which is where they're currently at? And in the case of what we talked about here, they struggle with those challenges. They don't know marketing, they don't know technology, they lack confidence. How do we get them to a reality B where suddenly they're full of confidence and they know exactly what to do and they exactly know how they're going to succeed? So that's a reality B. And the second part is we want to charge people by helping them transform. Okay, this is where a lot of people get stuck. They have something called imposter syndrome. And the reason that we want to do that is there's multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is we can actually impact more lives by creating a business. And we can't create a business if we don't have revenue. So that's one of the principles. But the other thing is if I want to help somebody change their reality, if I want to help, say, for example, help somebody lose weight, if I give them a free course, they're probably not going to watch all of it. They're going to dabble. They're not going to really follow the instructions. But if I charge them for it and they've actually paid for it, then they're actually going to say, okay, well, I paid money. I better make sure I get my money's worth. And they're actually going to go through the course. So we're going to teach you that mindset of how, in order to help somebody achieve their desired outcome, sometimes you have to charge them. And that's what the KBB definition of success is. Okay. In a nutshell, the knowledge broker blueprint is really to get rewarded in public for what you practice in private. And what that means is perhaps you run workshops or you have a small practice where you help people and people come to your house or people come to your office and you charge them for something. Or maybe you're just you help friends and family because you've become an expert in a certain area. It could be fixing the computer or whatever. What we want to do now is we want to get rewarded in public. When we talk about public, we're talking about the public domain out there in the world, in cyberspace, where we're an expert in private. And the way that KBB is designed is if you've never run an online business, if you've never created an online course, or even if you have, there's always ways to do it better for a virtual audience or for an online audience. And so KBB is designed to do several very, very specific things. One is they help you extract what is unique about you. They help you extract your unique expertise and your unique knowledge. So what does it take to succeed and the mindset secrets to scale your business? That's all involved in the first kind of module that helps you extract what is unique about you. But this is what's the real valuable part for me is, hold on, there's another person coming on. I think I need to admit them. Okay, so for those coming a little bit late, don't worry, this is being recorded. So you'll be able to watch all of it on the replay after we do the Q&A. So the next part is that KBB really focuses on is they focus on filling it. And what does that mean? That means how do you become an marketing expert? How do you find your voice, your passion, and your position? Finding your voice, that means how do you speak to the people you're trying to attract? And understanding what your position is in the marketplaces that's so cluttered with different options and different choices, that's all part of marketing. So a lot of people don't really understand what marketing is and what it means to be successful in marketing. So the knowledge broker, the KBB method really focuses on that. And and I'm sharing a little bit of the insight. They talk about storytelling. Okay, in order to market to somebody you don't know, you put out a video, you put out a post on LinkedIn or on Facebook, you really have to follow certain specific strategies. And first of all, you have to have a hook because you want to get people's attention. You want to tell a story, which means you want to connect with people on an emotional level. And these are the people that you are speaking to when you are doing whatever you're doing online. And the third thing is you want to close them, which means that you don't want to put out a piece of content with no purpose. And close means basically your call to action. What do I want people to do when they watch my video or they read my blog or read my post? There should always be call to action. So the formula that we really focus on here is the hook, story, close. In the case of getting you on this webinar, uh, the only action that we wanted people to take when they register for the Zoom session is to actually join the webinar. Because if you're not on the webinar, then we can't share this valuable information with you. And you may miss out on something that could be very beneficial for your business and the rest of your career. So that is one of the main focuses of how KBB is actually designed. And then the final aspect is they teach you how to run it. There's a psychology of how to run successful small groups, workshops, masterminds, or online programs. And a lot of people have a lot of myths about, they say, well, I'm an expert. There's nobody that knows more about this subject than me. And they think by default, being an expert means you can be successful running an online business. And that's generally not true. So they help you with debunking a lot of the myths of how to create a quick success just because you're an expert. And they really say that, this is not one of those get rich quick schemes where just follow my formula and you'll be able to get success. They focus on a lot of things that really help people get from where they are now, reality A, to reality B, which is being a successful online business. And of course, you learn how to be a knowledge broker. And what does that mean? That means the self-education industry. So for those of you who are in the Facebook group, Forbes magazine has already determined that the self-education industry is approaching $1 billion per day, which means that if I want to learn something new, I usually go online. I watch a YouTube video. I do a Google search. I don't go back to school. Okay, and what does that mean? That means that there are huge opportunities for people who want to get in this online education business and satisfy all of the searches to accomplish very specific things that people are searching for. And that is what it means to be a knowledge broker. How do I find my voice? How do I connect with those people? How do I develop programs and training to help people transform and achieve a better outcome? All right. A little bit about KBB and how it's different than some of the other training that's out there. And me personally, when you know a little bit about my story, I've been learning how to do an online business for about 2 years. And I've paid for a lot of education. I've attended a lot of events. So I know the difference between what this person teaches and what this person teaches. And everybody has great knowledge. But the question is, how is the KBB program different? So they focus really on mindset, which means they focus on how do you take massive action. And one of the things, and Maya's on this call, one of the things that limits Maya's massive action is sometimes poor habits and limiting beliefs. Okay, and one of the poor habits that Maya just expressed at the beginning of this call is she's a perfectionist. So if she wants to do a Facebook Live or post a video, she'll rehearse and she'll practice, 10 or 15 times before it goes live. And what she's now realized is that is actually limiting her action because her desire for perfection is a poor habit, because it means she's not evolving as far as her confidence and her authenticity to speak online to the people that she wants to communicate with. And being authentic, the only way to be authentic is not to be rehearsed, but the only way to be able to communicate value when you're authentic is just to go live, fail, and then try again, or say, oh man, I wish I would have said it better, and then do it again. So just repeat, repeat, repeat. And so this KBB method or program really focuses on mindset, motivation, and momentum. And you're going to hear me in the group coaching sessions, every time you talk about something that you're thinking about doing, something you're waiting for, you're going to hear me say, let's not lose momentum, because momentum is the key to how you move forward with building your business. The second is, how do you achieve certainty that this is the right program and the things that you are doing are actually the things that are going to help you succeed? So the KBB method really focuses on the knowledge. So it's called the knowledge broker blueprint. It teaches you how to extract what's valuable. It teaches you how to fill your courses or your online events, and it teaches you how to run them. So when you have the exact blueprint or the exact knowledge on how to do that, then you have a better sense of certainty. But it goes much beyond that. KBB is really about marketing. Okay, so it's not just they teach you how to do a Facebook ad. They teach you how to identify who your avatar is. So every time you record an online course, every time you speak for a webinar, who are you speaking to? And not only how do you speak to them, what is your voice when you talk to them, but where do they congregate? KBB focuses on, well, where do my avatars congregate? Do they congregate in these social media groups? Do they congregate on LinkedIn? Do they congregate on Instagram? Do they attend certain community events? And that's where I can reach them. You have to understand marketing is not only about communications, but it's also understanding how to reach the people that you want to communicate with. So once you know that, then that also improves your certainty. And then the final thing is they give you a marketing strategy, which means how do I connect with my avatars and how do I engage with them? One of the things that most people kind of fail to realize is if you start sending marketing messages to people that you want to serve, but you don't understand their customer journey and you don't know how to engage with them at multiple touch points, and then you start questioning yourself, say, wow, this is obviously something that can help them, but why didn't they show up? Why didn't they buy my course? Why didn't they register? Well, it's because part of the strategy is also how do you engage with them? And this is also what the KBB method really focuses on. And then the third thing is really effective execution, because if you don't keep the momentum, if you don't actually execute on the steps to getting from point A to point B, to getting from current reality A, where you're bamboozled by all of the moving parts that you seemingly have to sequence together, if you don't execute, you also won't be able to achieve the massive success that you want to success. So the KBB method really focuses on the blueprint. Hold on, one more person coming in. So welcome to all the people who are coming in late. Again, this is going to be recorded, so whatever you missed, you can go back and watch. You can watch the replay. We're almost to the end, so we're getting into the third aspect of what the KBB method is. So the blueprint is obviously the formula for success, but it goes beyond that. They also focus on the habits for success. Okay, if you kind of don't have successful habits, and of course, Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, they're masters at helping people transform their lives through developing successful habits. Dean Graziosi is a best-selling author of Millionaire Success Habits. So he doesn't teach you a get-rich-quick scheme. He teaches you, this is what I do on a daily basis. And Maya has started implementing some of those. And one of the things that we do is journaling. So how do you come up with a to-do list? But more importantly than coming up with a to-do list is coming up with a not to-do list. And most people don't know that. But that's just one small tip. That is one of the habits for success that this whole program really focuses on. And then the final thing is they give you the tools. Okay, so everything that you learn in KBB is wrapped around this free tool called MindMent. And what MindMent is it takes everything that you would have to figure out on your own. And believe me, I've tried to do that before. I've used MailChimp. I've used landing pages. I've used WordPress to try to create a website. I've used all these different tools, and I still wasn't able to create something that really worked well because I didn't know how to connect it to my PayPal or my payments or whatever. MindMent is a proprietary software that they have developed that basically simplifies everything that you want to do online. And as you're going through the modules and going through the course, all your homework, actually, you just input it into MindMent, and bam, you have this landing page that has all of the right information. It has your hook, it has your story, it has your close, it has the place for your video. It's just an amazing piece of software that comes included, which will save you a lot of time from trying to figure out, okay, do I use Squarespace with a Wix website? And how do I do this and how do I do that? So it comes with the tools. So the final thing that I'm going to talk about today, which is, again, one of the main things that Dean Robbins and Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi talk about is they always encourage people to not dabble. Don't dabble. If you want to be successful at something, if you're not hungry for that success, if you don't take massive action, and if you don't create the habits that are going to get you to that success, then you're not going to be successful. And people who dabble are the people who think, well, you know, I have a full-time job, but I kind of want to be successful with this, so I'm just going to try it. So anytime you try something, that's dabbling, because you don't have the certainty that you're going to be successful. What KBB Method focuses on is it focuses on the certainty and the success habits, so you don't dabble. And you're able to commit to your journey towards success. So this is, again, what Maya and I are really focused on. It's really the journey towards success on how you can get rewarded in public for what you practice in private. And you're also going to figure out that what you practice in private is actually what we call your superpower. And we're going to help you extract what your superpower it is, so you can change more lives and help more people in the world. And again, Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, they're my mentors. So I don't feel I'm doing this justice by me doing the training, because obviously I'm still learning. I went through KBB last year, but they've done a complete overhaul, and I just can't wait to get into what they call KBB 2.0. They have 20,000 people in the group. They have 20,000 people making 100,000 comments a day in their Facebook community. And what they've done is they've taken all that feedback and they've created another version of everything. They've created another version of the MindMet software, another version of the KBB training. They call it KBB 2.0. And at this live event is when they're gonna launch it, and they're gonna do a lot of the training first, but then they're gonna tell you, this is, again, when I'm gonna get access to the next version, and I really just can't wait. So that happens on February 27th. What Maya and I have done is we've also started a community, and we call it Gene. My name is Gene. Gene's KBB Partners Journey Towards Success Facebook group. So all of you can join this group for free. The value of this group is beyond the KBB method and the training and all of that stuff. This group will have live group coaching calls just like this every single week. And because one of the concepts they talk about in KBB is being one chapter ahead. So everybody is one chapter ahead of somebody else, which means if we're reading the same book, but I'm one chapter ahead of you, I can teach you something that you don't know. So I'm one chapter ahead of Maya. So as I'm sharing what I'm doing for my business, Maya will learn something because I'm one chapter ahead of her. Maya's been doing this. I've been coaching her and mentoring her for about a year. So she's one chapter ahead of a lot of the people who's coming into the group new. So she can also help people. And that's what this Facebook group is all about. I welcome everybody to join this group. Whether you join KBB or not, it doesn't matter. You can be in the Facebook group. You can attend the weekly Zoom calls, and you can share your successes and your failures, and this group can help you overcome a lot of the things that are missing for you to achieve the success that you want. All right, so that is a quick 20-minute overview. I call it kind of the marketing KBB overview. A lot of people came in late, so you missed the beginning, but this is being recorded, so you'll be able to watch the replay. And I'm gonna stop the share screen now and stop the presentation. And before I unmute everybody for questions, I'm just gonna unmute Maya to share a little bit of her thoughts. Maya, can you unmute yourself and just share a little bit of your thoughts, kind of why you're here, and even what you've learned from today?
Okay. So, yeah, I know all the people on the call. Welcome, Ruth, Amit, Hina, and Oceana, and thanks so much for coming in. And I started my journey actually in 2016, where I was looking to create an online course of my own. But it took me 2 years before I finally identified London Real. So that's how long it took, because there's just nothing available in India. And even there, I dabbled with quite a few courses. before I finally, in one of the courses, happened to find Gene as a coach. And his approach with which he was handling his participants in that particular group was something which inspired me. So when he created a Facebook group after the course, I joined him because there was so much to learn from him. And because he's got some of the real prime mentors who have not been my mentors, but because of that, I've learned a lot. Where today I can say, today I went live and I recorded a couple of calls. And I think the key thing which I get stuck is, like Jean said earlier, is I'm a perfectionist, and until it seems right, I don't post it out. And what I realized is the authenticity lies in not getting it right, but about posting it out. So it's not about perfecting something, because the perfection happens along the way. So there's always going to be a better version of something, but that better version can only happen, it's only when it's posted out there and I express my vulnerability in each of those posts. And that's
Yeah.
where the real growth happens.
So thank you, Maya. So you can hear from Maya's story that, what we talked about at the beginning of this training, the reason that she wasn't able to create a successful online course isn't because she lacks the expertise. It's because she didn't have the right mindset, even the example about being a perfectionist, and she didn't have the right habits. So thank you, Maya, for sharing that. And by the way, I met Maya through an 8-week course from the Business Accelerator that was from the London Reel. I was actually a team leader, and so everybody on that course was divided into teams, and I was hired by London Reel to be a team leader. And what happened is, after the course, my team created Facebook groups about.
We lost your voice, Jean.
Oh, you lost my voice? Hello, can you hear me?
I could hear you. I could hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. So maybe it's just Maya. Okay. Anyway, so I met Maya through the London Reel. And since the London Reel, I've also been a part of a lot of high-end programs. And I'm also developing my own online business. So what we want to do is we want to just share this opportunity, because Maya and I have been working together for about a year, and she says, there's really not a lot of good information and good training in India. And I said, okay, well, why don't we do something for the people in India, all the experts, all the coaches, all the trainers, and this is why we're here. So some people came in late, but you may have seen some of the information that we've sent out so far. You might be in the Facebook group. Why don't we kind of open it up for questions now from people in the audience? Does anybody want to just unmute themselves and jump in? Maya, you want to select one of, since you know these people, you want to select somebody and put them on the spot and have them ask a question?
Okay, Amit, would you like to ask some questions?
Or tell your story.
Okay. So I have lots of questions because I didn't have a chance to really chat with Maya about this. She sent me an invite, but I was kind of busy with things, and I said, okay, let me see if I can join in. And only at the last moment I was able to make it to the call. So I got a general idea, but I had some specific questions. Like you mentioned 2 people's, and you said it's their, KBB is their product. So how exactly do you fit in? Are you one of their students? And is it something like what one calls as a pyramid scheme, where the people who come in first get some revenue, and then everybody who follows down the chain gets a part of that? Is it something like that, or what?
No, it's
what
not. Well,
about.
Yeah. So there's a whole industry that is built around helping people create online businesses. Okay, the people at the very top of the pyramid, the most successful people, the most successful person is Tony Robbins. Okay, so what Tony Robbins does is he runs billion-dollar businesses online. Okay, he's the most. Whenever he does an event, there's 20,000 people. If you attend his high-end mastermind, where you fly to Fiji 3 times a year, it costs $250,000 a year to be in that. The next level, there's a person called Jeff Walker. He is the person who started Product Launch Formula. 2 years ago, I bought PLF, which is Product Launch Formula, and last year I joined Jeff Walker's high-end program called Launch Club. That's not even his high-end program. Launch Club is $12,000 a year. $12,000 a year means I attend all his events for free. He has 2 events a year, and then you get weekly coaching from his team of coaches. And all of these people at the top, what you're going to find out is they're all affiliates of each other. And one of the ways to create successful online businesses, and we didn't talk about this on this call, is to set up marketing affiliates. And what I have behind, to answer your question, is after I was joined KBB last year at the very beginning when it launched, that was, nobody had ever heard of KBB. KBB was something that they developed. Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins said, there's this huge self-education industry. The traditional education system is broken. People don't go to school when they want to learn something, they go online. But how do we create something to sell to people online? That whole, people need to be trained on that. And so they developed what they call the KBB Method. I joined last year, and after a full year in the program, they invited me to be a partner, which means I want to share this with more of the world. Do I get paid? The answer is yes. So if people who attend the free training, so the free training is the goal. We just want people to get the knowledge. But if people decide to join KBB, then KBB partners get an affiliate commission. And that's how it works. Even for my own programs, and Maya and I are both using something called Kajabi. We have our own affiliate programs. And what you do is you get a custom link to the people who are promoting something that you want to promote. And then when people opt in, and then ultimately if they pay, the system tracks the commission, which it takes the element of trust. It makes it much easier, because if I say, Amit, let's work together, people that you refer to my landing page, if they buy, I'm going to share commission with you. And you're basically saying, well, how do we track that? How do I know somebody came in from my email list? Well, now all the tools are available online where everything's automatically tracked. And because I was so passionate about KBB, if you watch the video, you can see that my live interactions with Dean Graziosi, and when he invited me to be a KBB partner, I said, yeah, I definitely want to do that. The reason that, I'm sorry this answer is getting so long, but the reason that Maya and I are doing this, Maya's not in it for the commissions. She's in it because affiliate marketing is something that most people don't know how to do. And by her being part of this program, she's learning how the people at the very top of the pyramid are doing affiliate marketing. She gets all of the swipe files. She gets all of the email copies. She gets all of the images. She gets the entire blueprint, the entire launch schedule, day 1, day 2, day 3. This is the live event. It's open cart. What do you do? What do you send people the day after the event, 2 days after the event, 3 days after the event? We get the entire blueprint. So when I launch my own program, I have all of this information. I have all the sales copy. I have all the emails. I have all of this stuff. I just need to adapt it to my own. And by being a KBB partner, I'm getting all of that. I mean, this information is gold. And by doing this, I get it all. So that's the reason why I'm in it. Now, you said you had a bunch of questions. What questions do you have specifically about your own business or what you're trying to do?
Yeah. So, the primary question I had was, I'm not sure whether I'm looking at, I have yet to make up my mind about what direction I'm going in, because right now I'm in a career shift. I used to be a software technology consultant.
Okay.
And about 3 years ago, I took a break to look after my family. And in that process, I started learning Sanskrit, because language is something I've always been passionate about.
Okay.
And in the process of learning Sanskrit, I developed such a liking for it that I thought, let me go into studying it full time and then make something out of it. So right now I'm doing a master's program in Sanskrit, which is a full-time program. which will be a 2-year program. I've just seen half a year of it, so it's another 1.5 years to go. So I have 1.5 years to actually figure out what I want to do after that. And right now, my ideas are in two directions. One is something like a content creator. I create content and then find some way of monetizing it. And the second could be like a mentor for people who are learning Sanskrit, because there is a lot of interest in learning Sanskrit, but there are not enough people who speak Sanskrit natively, like Indians. A lot of people who learn Sanskrit abroad are taught by people who are not from India, so they don't speak Sanskrit fluently, etc. So and after I started learning Sanskrit, I went on Facebook and joined some learning groups where people are learning Sanskrit, and the way I train myself primarily is by helping them out. When they were stuck, I answered questions for them. In the process, I learned, and I kind of developed a bit of a reputation as somebody who teaches Sanskrit well and can teach. So I know that if I decide to start something, there would be some people who already know that I can teach well, and by word of mouth, I might get some. I already started getting inquiries about, hey, if you do a online course, why don't you start something you would love to join? So I've said, okay, I'm planning something. So I don't know whether I've never thought of myself as being in business. I just thought of doing something I love and then let it grow organically and see how it develops. I don't necessarily want to say that I want to scale up to $1 million business or anything like that. I'm happy to start with 2 or 3 people I know, and then if I really add value to them, they'll bring in more people. Is where I'm currently. I could be just wrong, but that's where I am currently.
Well, well, one of the things that we talk about is, there's never right or wrong. There's only, because especially in your case, there's definitely no right or wrong, because right or wrong only happens if you've very specifically committed 100% to a specific goal. For you, you're still unsure. So if you're unsure, this could be right or this could be right. Right? Now, I really like what you said, because so you're first of all, you're passionate about this. You kind of learned it on your own. You're going back to school to learn more about it, and you want to help and teach other people about it. And you've actually already been successful teaching small groups of people. Now, they're doing it your way. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. Starting with a small group, and if they like what you do, they'll introduce you to more people, and then organically you can start to grow slowly. Your goal is not really to make a business out of it or make a lot of money. Well, that's perfect, because the people who become the most successful are the people who don't do it for the money. Okay. And the reason that is because when you don't do it for the money, a lot more authenticity comes out, a lot more passion comes out, and a lot more value comes out. Okay. If you're doing it for the money, there's a psychological calculation in your head. Is it worth it for me to add this to the course? Is it worth it for me to spend more time and not charge more money? Right? That limits the value you're able to deliver. If you're passionate about doing this, that's a mindset. So Amit, I would already say that the mindset that you have, as far as the mindset to serve a specific community to achieve a certain goal, that's already there. If you want to take it to the next level, that's perhaps what KBB can do, because they'll help you. You said you've taught people, you have a course. What KBB do is they have the blueprint and the formula to actually make a more valuable course for a very specific group of people you've identified and why they would want your course. So it makes it much more clear. And then how do you take that program online and reach more people beyond your local community? So if right now it's only people in your area that you can help, then it's very limited on the number of people you can help. And even if you say, let me build this organically, see how it spreads, you can still never expand beyond your city, because people are not going to fly in and come to your classroom, right? in order to make a bigger.
I should clarify that I'm not talking about a local classroom kind of thing, because I'm already online on Facebook. So my community is actually the whole world. There are people all over the world in that Facebook group, and I've been commenting on that. So there are people all over the place who know me. And I've already started taking classes for one person who requested me to teach. So, but I don't have a course right now. You said I already have a course. It's not like that. So far, I've been ad hoc helping people.
Ad hoc helping people. Perfect. Yeah.
They are learning on their own and they get stuck. So they come and ask queries in that group, and then I respond to that. So it's been more ad hoc. But I've been thinking about how I make how do I make a kind of a product or service, saying that it doesn't matter from where you're learning. If you're stuck, I can do a mentoring for maybe so many hours a week or something. You can come and learn from me. Whatever queries you might have, I can look it up and get back to you, or some model like that.
Do you currently help people for free?
Yes, currently I help people on the Facebook group for free, but there is one person who has signed up for doing dedicated one-on-one coaching mentoring, and she pays me.
She pays you. Okay. Well, that's perfect. So what you're gonna soon realize is when you coach people one-on-one, you're gonna find out that you quickly run out of time.
Yeah.
Because there's only one of you. There's only one of you.
I know that. So right now I just took on one because I'm, as I said, currently doing a full-time master's program in Sanskrit. So I didn't want to take up too much time commitment. I just thought, let me be in the flow of actually delivering value and charging money for it. So I don't want to keep that for 2 years down the line. So let me make a start now that I got an inquiry. And based on this, I'm also currently thinking what else I could make available to more people, and how it can be made into a module or a package, so that I can, instead of just one person, maybe join, and then later on it could become 10 or whatever. So
yeah, well, that's the journey that we're all on, and that's kind of what I've done. Maya, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, could we? There's another lady called Ruth, who's Ruth. Would you like to come online? And so Ruth is a coach.
Hi, Ruth.
And so I thought we could hear something from Ruth and what are her challenges, or whether she's, Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Maya. Hi. Good. Okay, I'll switch on my video too. One second.
Ruth, we can't hear you. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Ruth.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you, Ruth.
Yes, I can hear her.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, so I'm a coach, and I would also like to get some inputs on how I could build my online coaching business. So I'm sorry I came a little late onto the call, but I would definitely like to join your Facebook page and learn more about KBP and the process.
Excellent. What kind of coaching do you do?
I do career coaching.
Career coaching?
Yes.
That's perfect. So do you currently collaborate with like a university where you're coaching students, or how do people find you?
I coach students. I coach mid-career executives through an online coaching site. People who are stuck in their careers and who want to either perform better in their current role, look for another role, or they probably are looking for exiting out of the current organization. And so I do also outplacement services for careers. So career transition in that point of, and I'm happy to say that all the clients that I've coached have been able to secure jobs in new jobs. After.
Did you say you do that through another organization, or you do that through your own business?
I do it through a site called Noomi.com. It's an online coaching site where I have signed up. So I get clients from all across India, across the world.
Oh, I see.
And
So,
uh,
so it's
yeah,
like a platform, and it helps different coaches connect with different
yes,
potential clients or students.
right. So
Okay. And
that's the uh,
do do you get paid through the platform?
yes, the platform keeps some amount of commission,
Okay.
and the rest comes to the coach. So and actually the clients pay us directly, and we give the, so they trust you to give them a commission from the coaching that you do. And so what, and you also pay a fee to sign up for the coaching site. So
I
they
see.
make that's how they make their commissions, because they charge you to join the site, and they
Uh-huh.
charge you for every client that is referred to you by them.
I see. Now, let me ask you this, Ruth. Are you kind of unhappy with the current way that you are finding clients, and you want to expand into your own kind of online courses, online business, or what is your goal related to your coaching?
Yes, this is, I want to have my own online coaching business, and get access to more people, because right now the number of people that I get through this coaching site are, I mean, it's quite sometimes you could say that it requires a lot of marketing post, like the clients contact you, and after that, I mean, it's up to you to sell yourself vis-a-vis other coaches. So suppose like you sign up saying that, I'm stuck in my career, or I want to move out of my current job. So I will want to coach you, plus there would be 10-15 other coaches also who also request the client, whether they can coach him. So you are pitted against other coaches,
Oh,
and
it's like a
sometimes
competition.
yeah, it's like a competition. That's right. So sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. And sometimes the client, I mean, it's not something that, they don't want to pay also, probably. If somebody probably gives them a lower rate or something like that, they might go with them.
Well,
And I,
let me try to give you some feedback this way. So, um, you talked about, so the platform has multiple coaches. They're all maybe competing for the same clients. So the clients get to choose, and sometimes, getting paid, and that is difficult. If you decide to create your own program and your own course, uh, you still, you wouldn't be competing against other coaches directly, but the work that you need to do to make yourself competitive against other alternatives is still there, which means that if you, for example, if you don't like the 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 work that you need to do to sell yourself, um, then you're not going to save that work by using KBB. Okay, KBB actually is a method to help you sell yourself more effectively. Okay, so let me give you an example in your case. So um, within the realm of people who need career advice or career coaching, there's a whole bunch of different people. Okay, what KBB will help you do is they'll help you do some kind of like segmentation. For example, perhaps, and again, I'm just using this as an example. Perhaps you are much more effective helping, um, you know, you're much more effective at helping single moms re-enter the workforce, for example. Because perhaps you were a single mom in your past, and you know that some of the struggles on how you compete when you interview, how do you present yourself, how do you find the right career if you've been away from the workforce raising your child for the past 5 years. You understand what that one specific group of people have. Then you would basically create all of your sales and marketing copy to speak to that one person, a single mom who has been out of the workforce for 3 years, who's now trying to get back, who maybe specializes in IT, but IT has changed so much over the past 3 years that can they still keep up with the latest in the technology? Once you figure out, I am speaking and helping that one person. If you're using your platform, it would be easy if that one person was the client and they were choosing between all the coaches, it would be easy for that one person to select you because you're the only one who's speaking directly to that person.
Yeah, I get that.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, once you figure out all that out, what the KBB method will do is it'll help you get that message out to every one of those people out in the world. And then what would happen is all of those people would come in with the exact same problem and the exact same experience, and they would view you as exactly the right person to help them with their careers because they're at that stage, they fit the demographic, they have that similar problem. If I'm a recent college graduate and I didn't do very well in school and I can't find a job, that's a different type of person than the single mom who's been out of the workforce for 3 years because they've been raising a child, right? So KBB will help you identify who that is and then create programs for that group of people. You would be able to extract what's valuable, you would figure out how to market it, and then you would be able to create a business just serving those specific groups of people. And again, there's the real training is on February 27th. So that I think it's going to be like 3 hours. They're going to basically tell you all the pieces of trying to do what you want to do. And then you can decide, like Ahmed, he's not sure where he wants to go with the next step of his online business. And what the training will do is they say, okay, this is what's possible. And this is what it will take to get there. And then you can decide, is this the journey that I want to go on? And that's what we want to share. We're not trying to sell you anything here. We're just trying to figure out who you are. We want to invite you to our community because we're all doing something similar. We're all trainers, coaches, teachers, instructors. That's who we are in this group. And we're going to be sharing what we're doing. If you just want to kind of learn from all of us and ask us questions and attend these calls, that's great. If you want to learn from our mentors, which is Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, then that's just another option that you have.
Oh, that sounds great. Thanks a lot, Jean, for answering all my questions. And look forward to your session on 27th.
Okay, thank you. Let me, by the way, have you created an online course before?
Yes, I have created a course, but I have not yet launched it online.
Okay, so you can talk to Maya. I think you're friends with Maya. She's been on this journey with me for about almost a year. So she got her course published on Udemy. She got over 1,000 students on her course. So there's just so many things that the community can help you with. And even the KBB thing, the 27th, that's just free training, right? You can just learn from that, and then we will have a common language, which means that on the course or in our Facebook group and in our Zoom sessions, I'll use a lot of terminology that comes from people who've gone through the KBB method. And just by doing the 3 hours of free training on the 27th, we will have more of a common language when we talk about momentum, when we talk about success habits, when we talk about mindset, when we talk about landing pages, when we talk about conversions, when we talk about call to actions. All of these things are the language of self-education, and we'll be able to talk about that after you go through their free training.
Hi. So thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Ruth. And we can have a chat one of these days.
Sure.
To help you out. Great.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, so Maya,
Jean, there was one more lady who, sorry, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just saying there's 2 more people on the call who haven't had a chance to ask a question.
Yes, there's a lady called Hina who wanted to speak to you. Who had some questions for you.
Hi, Hina. Can you unmute yourself? And if you have video, can you start your video?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, hi.
Hello. I'm Hina.
Hi, Hina. Hi.
Hi.
I see you.
Okay. What I wanted to ask you was, 1 minute. I'm not able to see his face.
Okay. No, you won't.
Oh, you're on a phone, right?
Yeah, I'm on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just.
Just ask your question, Hina.
Yes.
I can see you.
Yeah. The question.
Pushing the recording so you can always
Yeah.
listen to the recording.
Yeah. What I wanted to ask, like, basically, I'm doctor by profession. So how can marketing help me?
I'm sorry.
Basically,
What did you say before that? You're a what?
I'm doctor by profession.
Doctor by profession. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
how can marketing skills help me?
What kind of doctor?
I'm a homeopathic doctor.
Okay, so marketing always has to have a purpose.
Yes.
Okay, and marketing helps you by getting the people that you are trying to communicate with, getting them to take a desired action. That is what marketing is for. So, for example, if you're whatever type of doctor you are, and you feel that you can educate people to be able to achieve certain health goals or psychological goals or mental goals or emotional goals, whatever it is, marketing will do two things. It will help you connect with those people. And if you do your marketing well, it will compel the people that you communicate with to take your desired action. That's how it helps. If you don't know, that's why people usually hire people to do marketing, because marketing in itself is really complicated. Because as a doctor, you might speak a very kind of technical language that you've learned in as you were going through your doctorate degree or getting your education. But when you speak to clients or patients, they don't speak that same language. The only thing is your clients and your patients, they only know the problems that they have and how they feel. And what marketing does is first of all, it gets their attention. They have a problem. Marketing helps get their attention because they're searching for a solution. It gets their attention. And then marketing, if it's done properly, helps you connect with them at an emotional level, which means that you're speaking to the problem that they have, and they're listening to you because they have their attention. And now you're telling them a story that they can relate to. And they say, oh, okay, Hina seems to know exactly what my problem is. And she seems to have helped a lot of people in her own practice. I really should find out more about what she can offer me. That's marketing. Because if you don't have successful marketing, or you don't have a marketing strategy, that person who has the problem that you can solve, first of all, they would never even know you. And if you didn't do your marketing correctly, if they even saw you in a Facebook group or in an ad or in an email, they would have no reason to listen to what you have to say. And then the final thing is, after they start listening to what you have to say, they would have no reason to take your recommendation or whatever it is you want them to do. Marketing is that entire, what we call customer journey. From the first time your face appears in front of their phone or in front of their computer to the time they decide, okay, let me register for this webinar. Let me register for this course. Let me attend this class. Marketing is everything that you do to engage with that customer until they actually land in your classroom seat.
Okay. Like when we are learning this course from you, you'll be teaching us how to create a webinar and YouTube, that also?
No, I don't have a course on this. The Facebook group is for all of us who are on this journey to kind of share what we do. Now, in the previous group, and Maya knows this, I did share a lot of information about course creation. And for example, if you're creating your course, I would say don't create 45-minute lessons. break your lesson up into many small 5-minute lessons, because one of the hardest things to do once somebody buys your course, one of the hardest things to do is to get them to finish the course. So one of the tips or one of the strategies is you want to make sure every lesson is only focused on one specific topic in which the person who who watches that lesson can get a quick win. All right, so quick win is our language. Every time somebody watches a video from you, takes a lesson from you, they should be able to apply it to their problem and get a quick win. And if they can do that, then they're much more likely to come back and take the next lesson. If you give them a 45-minute lesson that just talks about a bunch of things and it goes for a really long time, they're never going to make it to the end, and they're not going to be able to achieve the change or the transformation that they want. So in our group coaching sessions, we could talk about something like that. But the answer to the other question is, no, I am not teaching a course on how to do these things. I'm only leading a Facebook group of people who want to kind of learn the KBB method, and then we just kind of answer each other's questions. We help each other. We share what we're doing. And we share other training. So for example, KBB, the training itself will give you a lot of information, but it's the coaching that really will help you achieve the success that you want to achieve.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah. Maya, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, Hina, so we can get on a call, off this call, and I'll share with you some of the things that I've learned and how you could probably go ahead with some of your YouTube video and the other questions that you had. Okay, good. We have one more person on the call. I think that's Oceana. Would you like to say something, Oceana?
Yeah, just quickly, it was quite interesting, to understand what was, offered today. So I actually, I'm in the, been in sales. I'm actually into IT software solution sales in India, and so I have a little bit of understanding of, what you're sharing, because I've done a little bit of online marketing as part of my, previous, job as well. But what I was more keen to understand is, will there be apart from online, which is very important today because everything is online, will there be help to, in the corporate selling as well, because online is more of one-to-one and B2C kind of, C2C kind of a thing. Is there any element? So that will help me to immediately, help in my immediate whatever I'm doing. Otherwise, I get an idea, what is,
Okay, so so the honest answer to your question about corporate selling is no.
Okay.
Yeah, corporate selling happens later.
Correct.
Okay, so what KBB really helps you do is just, whether you're selling B2B or P2P or B2C, the marketing is what KBB focus on. They don't focus on selling, they focus on marketing.
Got it.
Which means, what is the right message to attract the people that you want to attract? Now, marketing principles can be applied to selling to corporate, but a lot of that time, you may not, I mean, it can help indirectly, but that's not what the course is all about.
No, I got it. Because your second slide itself, it really attracted me, which thought about, the hook, story, and closure. Because in the larger context, that's what, we try to do in terms of, we have to tell a beautiful story, and there should be something they could take over so that there's a closure. So it'll be great. So will there be another session on 27th you're planning?
No, 27th is the master session, not mine.
Okay.
Master session is when my mentors, Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, they go live for like 3 hours of training. This is training that you actually don't want to miss. I'm gonna be glued to the screen. I'm gonna have a watch party. I'm gonna try to get everybody to watch this training. I'm actually not doing training. What I'm doing is I'm doing kind of like group coaching, which means I get everybody in the group. We're all trying to do similar things, and we can share ideas with one another.
Okay, great.
And
Definitely try to be there on 27th.
And I'm really glad you mentioned the hook story close, because the hook story close works whether you're marketing to B2C to somebody online or whether you have a chance to speak to somebody in a corporate. It's almost like the elevator speech.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
You only have 45 seconds between the time to get in the elevator, get off the elevator to tell them exactly what your value proposition is.
Yeah. True.
And then that's the hook.
Okay.
The story is when the person gets off the elevator and he says, okay, let's go have a coffee. You tell me a little bit more. And
Sure.
that's when you tell the story where you connect with them on an emotional level. But you have the close is when you tell them that story, you have a call to action, which means, you know, I can help your employees with this training. I know exactly why you're having this critical IT issues, and it's because some of your people aren't trained on this. I can come on a weekly basis and provide this training. And it's going to, and this is what it is. This is the program. This is what it costs. That's the close.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. A lot of people leave out the close. They just deliver value, and they what they do is they wait for people to say, okay, well, can you come on my site and provide me training? And how much is that going to cost? They're waiting to be asked.
Okay.
That's not the right approach. You have to tell them, this is what I can do for you. And then that's the call to action. All right. Anybody else? Yep. So we still, you know, we can still go on a little bit further if anybody has any questions. Maya, do you have any questions?
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Gene, I think you've answered all the questions. I was just thinking from an Indian perspective, what could be a takeaway for each of them in terms of, as coaches, what is one last point we could give to?
Well, the thing that I've observed is that everybody on this call is what Tony Robbins would say, everybody's dabbling, which means they don't know for sure what direction they want to go. And even if you're like Amit, where you want to kind of grow organically, but you're not sure how, or you don't want to invest a lot of time and money into this project or program, not having clarity on what you want to do with your expertise or knowledge, that's the struggle that most people have. So I would actually advise everybody to just really think deeply, try to get more clarity on where you want to go. Don't think about everything as today. Think about everything as 1 year from now. Okay. Time is sacred, and time is scarce, and time is finite. So even if you want to say, well, I'm going to grow organically and kind of see how it goes, you should still have a very clear direction. If I look back a year from now, how would I say that I've succeeded? And then you want to actually project that out further. 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. You know, we're all relatively young. We all should have at least another 10 or 15 years in our career. The question is, when you get to the end and you look back, did you make an impact? How many people's lives did you change? How many people did you help? And did you do the most you could to help the most people that you can? And the clarity is, Maya, what I would say, everybody needs more clarity. Even yourself, you need more clarity. I have absolute clarity on what I'm doing. So I talk about what I want to do with 100% confidence. I don't care how successful I am at the moment, because I know exactly where I'm going and how I'm going to get there. And that just makes everything easier, because I don't struggle with, you know, let me kind of see how this goes. I'm not sure if I want to do this, if I'm not sure I want to do that. I have perfect clarity, which makes all of my decisions easy. But I do also want to share that it took me a year or more to find that clarity. I dabbled in the beginning too. And that's one of the great things about having that clarity, is because it just makes life easier. It makes business easier. It makes everything that you do easier. It's hard to learn something new like marketing if you don't see the purpose of it at the end of the journey. And that's why we call this a journey towards success. we're all on a journey towards success. The question is, do we know where we're going? And once we know where we're going, then the journey becomes a lot more fun and a lot easier. All right, so Maya, that's the best I could come up with as far as a takeaway.
Yeah,
from
no, I
the
think
group
that
of
was
Indians.
absolutely apt and appropriate for all of us in India.
Yeah.
Yes,
so,
absolutely. Thanks, Gene.
Yeah, thank you for being on the call. Again, join the Facebook group because I go live in the Facebook group. There's gonna, after the KBB training is over, we're gonna continue to do these live sessions on the things that we're learning and the things that we're doing. And even if you're not learning KBB 2.0 with us, you can share in what everybody else is doing and you can learn something from that. And that's all free. And Maya will be sharing more information. This video is going to be posted, so you guys can all go back and watch the beginning of the video. And there's a lot more information that we just want to share with everybody leading up to the 27th. And Maya's going to give you the registration link on the 19th to register for the event on the 27th.
Gene, if you have a couple of minutes, I have a quick question based on the last comment that you made.
Okay.
You said you took a year or more to get clarity, but now that you have a clarity, everything is clearer and everything is easier. And I can relate with that. But the question is, once you have a clarity, does that not evolve or change, or is it like frozen in stone? Based on the experiences you go through, can it not be that you say, okay, maybe I can do something a little different, or once you make up your mind, you just go with that?
Well, it's looking at things in the short term and looking things at the long term. So the clarity is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is the direction that I'm going. That's never going to change. I'm committed to this, and that's all I'm going to do for the rest of my life. What does change is the things that I learn that are in the activities that I pursue to help me get to that goal. But in the present, because I know the orientation and the direction that I'm going, I know what activities help me support my goal. So it's when I have a choice of do I do this or do I do this, or what knowledge do I need? What training do I need? What habits do I need to overcome? What behaviors do I need to do? I can answer those questions quite easily because the overarching question is, will this activity help me reach my goal faster? And if the answer is yes, I do it. The answer is no, then I don't do it. And this is part of the thing that I talked about with Maya, that it's called journaling, where you make a to-do list. It's also important to make a not to-do list. And the not to-do list are all the activities that that consume your time that do not help you reach the goal that you want to achieve. And that's why it's just as important to have a not to-do list as it is to have a to-do list.
Well, thanks, Gene. I never thought about the not to-do list. I think that's a great insight to take away from today. Thank you so much. Thanks, Maya, for inviting, actually.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you.
Yep. So thank you, guys.
Everyone, for being on this call.
I've already joined the Facebook group, so.
Yeah, and always feel free to post any questions in the Facebook group. I mean, right now the group is just getting started. I only started this group like just a week or two ago. But once we get more people in the group, what you're going to find is other people have your same problem, or other people have your same question. And then that's how this community can kind of help each other on this journey. And that's the reason why we started the group.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Maya.
Gina, Amit, Gene.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Good night.
Yep.
Everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.